We could tell immediately that like, something was not right at all.
Automatically, like, I heard something that didn't sound right.
But I definitely remember when it happened, and then remember waking up after and just realizing that I wasn't where I previously was before I lost consciousness.
What led up to the blackout? What were you guys doing in the water? Why were you taking the particular dive? What were you trying to accomplish?
Right, so started out as a pretty rough day. We were diving about 80 feet, which is a little bit beyond my normal comfort zone. But I was feeling really good, and I'd never gotten the opportunity to really test my actual limits. We pulled up on a coop, and our first shot, unfortunately, hung up inside the coop with a brand new gun. First shot on that new gun as well.
By the time we blacked out, we probably made 10 or 15 dives together total, if I had to guess. I know the first dive we shot the fish, it got jammed up, and I think I made 5 more dives before we blacked out, and then I made 1 after that, and I stopped before I got to the bottom. I was a little on the uneasy side, and I just called it and said, all right, we're done, we're going to leave this here. We'll get some scuba guys to come back out here and get it for us.
Monster mangrove. He's in the coop bad.
You shot him?
Yeah.
How many dives had you done leading up to that one?
So between my dive buddy and I, we did about 8 dives. I took 4 of them all to the bottom at about 80, 82 feet on the coop. But on top of that, we had 2 to 3 foot swells with a pretty spaced out interval, still getting a little bit of water in the snorkel and getting tossed around a bit. But I think that definitely contributed.
I'm so used to listening out for you guys, so you know, when we finally looked at him, I automatically knew something was wrong. The dive before, he didn't look 100% when he came up, so this time when I looked at him, all I saw was eyes rolling back, so I knew something was wrong. He had blue-purple lips, and his face was really white, so I knew that from listening to you guys enough that that meant that he was close to being hypoxic, so.
Finally kind of figure out a method, hooking him in the mouth so that you could just really swing him around those bars. So I went down on my first dive, hooked him around the mouth, started pulling on him, and he actually started to come out. As he come out, he swam up past the gaff, and since it didn't have a barb on, he just slipped off. Kind of came up about 5 feet around the structure, hooked back around, went all the way back into the coop, kind of with the shooting line on him. And by now, the reel line had been cut, so you had 50-inch shaft with about 12 feet of dino just kind of hanging off of it without anything on the end. So as that fish was swimming down, you'll kind of see that I attempted, after he got off the gaff, to wrap that dino back around the gaff, tie a knot or something like that, which kind of extended my comfortable bottom time back a couple seconds. After I realized that that probably wasn't the best idea and I saw the fish swim back into the structure, I kind of just started ascending as I usually would, pulling up off the coop. Around 45 feet below the surface, I realized that was right around when I started kind of feeling those contractions, so I dumbly kind of started kicking a little bit harder.
Where at in the dive did you start feeling like you were going to have an issue?
About, I'd say, ascending when I was about 40 feet below the surface. That's when it started to hit me that I probably needed to get back to the surface a little bit quicker, and I was about at my threshold.
You good?
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm waking up, and luckily my dive buddy's got his hand over my shoulder, kind of like that seatbelt rescue that everyone learns, with his hand in my armpit, and just making sure that my airways were free of the water. And
thankfully the visibility was pretty good, which we don't get great visibility all the time here in the Panhandle, so that was nice. But I didn't really realize anything was going on with him until he broke the surface, and that was when we immediately, as soon as his face broke, we realized that his body was in panic mode, and and I needed to get over there as fast as I could.
I mean, it was definitely a scary experience. I was shaking afterwards.
I guess what it was his body just struggling to get that breath before blacking out. And you just kind of watched his head go underwater, and I swam over as fast as I could, which it felt like eternity, and in the video it's like 2 seconds. And picked him up out of the water. And really, my goal was to just initially get him out of the water, as it was a little on the rough side, so I wanted his face very clear of the water. And as soon as his face came out of the water, it was just instant. He was back to life, breathing again. And I really didn't have to worry about the tapping on his face or anything, which, I mean, I'm glad, because the less you got to do, the better in that situation. But it was definitely something we weren't ready for, but we were. You good?
Yeah.
Are some blackout drills in the future? Is that what you guys are going to be doing some more of?
Definitely the next time we go out, whether it's a spring or the Gulf, we're definitely going to do some more blackout recoveries, just to make sure we all remember everything we need to remember, just in case something ever happens. You good?
Yeah.
Do you think things would have gone as well as they did if you guys weren't certified?
Definitely not. I would have had no clue what was going on. I would have thought he was shivering or something and just falling back into the water. He probably would have laid there in the water for 10-20 seconds before we swam over and got him, which definitely would not have been good. Do I think he would have died? Probably not, because it was a very minor blackout, but you never know. I'm very glad that the first step I did freediving was get certified.
Do you think you and your dive buddies being certified played a huge role in the fact that you're still here?
Absolutely. If we were not certified, I don't even know what we'd be trying to do, fumbling around trying to recover that. We wouldn't even been really watching out for a blackout. At least I would have no idea what to do aside from just grab the guy and panic, and nothing else kind of like that.
Has seeing this and experiencing this deterred you at all from wanting to get into spearfishing and freediving?
No, it hasn't. We have a good enough group here. We all listen out and look after each other. Not to say that there aren't things that we need to pay more attention to or, work on as a group. But, from the beginning, I felt like this is one of the safest groups that we've ever been associated with. So I'm not worried about it.